Hi,
We
what's
are
up?
live.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I see you have a very interesting hat.
Yeah, this is my
Well,
Purim hat. It's my holiday hat. Let me show you my new hat. You're gonna flip. I wish I could show this to OV. This is the case that came with it.
uh-huh. How many hats have you got of this
This is
kind?
my this is my latest and fifth hat.
Wow.
It's made out of
Wow.
real fox fur, according to Ashton Macklin in Houston, Texas, who sold it to me on eBay.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to put it on?
No, because I have to get it checked for shatnez. Shatnez is, for those who don't know, are fibers that are made from a mixture of wool and linen, and it's forbidden for an Israelite to wear a garment containing shatnez. Please consult your local Orthodox or Chabad rabbi for clarification and guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I have to get this checked, and so maybe next time we have a stream, I'll be wearing it.
Right. Right. Well, I mean,
And I'm gonna wear this hat on
it
the
looks like a
holiday
very
of
hot
Purim.
hat.
What?
It looks like a hat that is going to make your head hot.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be too bad. I have pretty good heat tolerance. It's called a Strymel for those who don't know. I believe it's a Strymel. Looks like one. There's different styles of like fur hats. This one but the most common one in America that you see is people who wear Strymels. But if you go to Israel, you'll see people who wear other stuff.
Right.
They
Right.
have like something called a
Okay.
kolpik and a spodek. I'm not really sure how to tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most
But you've got
familiar with
one of them, which
Strymels.
is pretty magnificent.
I'm sorry.
I said, but you've got one of them, and it looks pretty
Thank
magnificent.
you. And it was actually pre-owned. It was a new one would have been from I found I could have bought a new one for $1,500, but this one was about $790, and it came included with the case.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I think I
I
got a
guess
pretty
it
good deal.
sounds like a bargain if you if you want like that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Mm. But it's obviously a status symbol for you guys, isn't it? A
Yes.
status symbol.
Yeah, I think in the old days, Hasidic people actually most of them didn't. It could be that most of them didn't wear these hats because they were too expensive, and they were just worn by like very elite like people, very wealthy people, or by like rabbis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least I think that was the case in Lubavitch, where the Chabad Hasidic group came from.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell just by the hat, where, um, which Jewish group you're in?
I'm
And you're
not.
saying
I'm
you.
not. My ability to identify isn't as sophisticated, but there's little things like little details in the uniform that indicate which group you belong to. But
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with all the little differences. I just went online. I went to the store. Like there's a like I went to like I got this jacket from an online store.
Mhm.
It was $300. This is actually I have two jackets like this. One that's less fancy looking that I wear on Shabbat on the Sabbath, and this is the
Mhm.
one I wear on the holidays. But for when I come on the Claire stream, I wear this also.
It's very smart.
Thank you.
What's
That's
it made
flowers
of?
on it.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
roses.
I mean, yes. Yes, it's very fancy.
Thank you. I'm disappointed. Wait, let me see if there's anyone in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. No, I don't see
I'm
anyone.
afraid it's a bit quiet at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I thought people had 3 days notice. So they don't want to hear about rabbis talk about aliens.
I guess not.
Okay. Do you
But
have
they
the
might
clip?
come later.
Do
I
you
mean,
have
I've
the two?
shared
Do you
it
have
and
the two?
tweeted.
Sorry. Do you have the two uploads I sent you?
Yes, I do.
I think we should get started now.
All right. So
Thank
which
you.
one do you want to watch first?
Start with the first one I sent you, the one that's 40 seconds long.
Okay. Okay.
So this first clip is from Rabbi Eliyahu Netaneli. May he live a good and long life. He is a great rabbi who resides in Los Angeles, California. He is almost 100 years old. He doesn't speak English. He's from Iran, and he is a great rabbi and a Kabbalist, a real Kabbalist, not a fake one who teaches Kabbalah to non-Jews and secular Jews who eat McDonald's and drive on the Sabbath.
Yes. Right. Just let me see if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, so this is the one you want me to play,
Yes.
which is only
Yeah.
43 seconds long.
Yes.
Hold on. Oh, where do I click play? Watch. Yes, watch.
This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Question was, are there aliens? Are there UFO sightings? What's the situation? Are there such a things or no? Our Rav says there is something called a Shindalet. We don't say the name. And this, how do you say it? Like a demon? How do you say it? Like a demon, yeah. This creature or this spiritual being, it doesn't have any body or shape, but it could make itself look like anything that it wants to look like. So that's why people think they're aliens, but that's not the case. It's actually Shindalet. Our Rav just confirmed it.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by.
Okay, you want to commentate, or you can just go to the next video. The next video is about 30 minutes long for those who.
Okay.
Years, all of that was created through the wasted seed was all types of shedin and ruchot and mazikin. The Arizal discusses, and we don't have so many shedim nowadays because we're in populated areas. So we're not going to discuss so much about shedim today. What we're going to discuss more is other beings, whether they could exist or they can't exist. And the goyim, there were sightings. I'm not an expert in all of the research, but what we could look is in our sources and see if in our sources does this concept of different beings from different places besides planet Earth, where do they come from? So there is a sefer, Or Hashem, from Rav Chezdai Karkash, that's from Spain, one of the Rishonim in the 1300s, 1200s, 1300s, and he discusses in Or Hashem that it is not against Jewish philosophy to think this world. He says it's not a stira, it's not a contradiction. But the Shla Kadosh has a sefer called Sefer HaBerit, and in Sefer HaBerit, the Shla Kadosh in Ma'amar Gimel, Perek Gimel, he discusses. No, I'm sorry. It's Ma'amar Gimel, Perek Gimel. He discusses the possibility. I have it over here that I printed out a copy. It's in Chelek Aleph, Ma'amar Gimel, Perek Bet. He starts to discuss this topic, and really what it's dependent upon is whether the different kuchavim, they have a they have life on it. And he says the following: איך זה אנוכי אשית ליבי שבלי ספק לא לטעו בראו, אבל השבט יצרו ויש בהם ברואים. He brings a possibility that you must say that Hashem created all these kochavim, and if he created all these kochavim, it must be that it's inhabited. ובאמת אמרו כל חכמי הקבלה מכולם מושך אדם תועלת. And the truth is that you must be able to say that there is life. And he brings previously that there are philosophers that say that definitely there must be life in other planets because it's a kal vachomer. If we have our planet that Hashem created life on, so bigger ones that are in the orbit, Hashem wouldn't create life on them. That's what some people made a kal vachomer. And on that, the Shlach Kadosh says he doesn't think that that's a proof because it could be that Hashem created the different planets for our honor. It could be that Hashem created the planets for our honor. So that's not so much of a proof. But says the Shlach Kadosh, he says, what I think, למה יגרע עולם עשייה להיות בו עולמות רבים מעולם יצירה והבריאה והאצילות. There are four worlds. There's עולם העשייה, יצירה, בריאה, אצילות. All four worlds that Hashem created. So our עולם העשייה, the world of action, we have creations in. So why should the עולם היצירה, בריאה, אצילות not have creations as well? That's what the Shlach Kadosh writes. Every single one of them, כולל עולמות אין מספר כנודע אצל מקובלים, וכנזכר בזוהר, בכמה מקומות שהקדוש ברוך הוא רוכב על כרוב י"ח אלף עלמין. So he says, on top of that, it's written in the pasuk in Shoftim Perek Hey, when they're cursing out Sisra. Oru maroz amar malach Hashem. So the Gemara in the third Perek of Moed Katan says, some say maroz means a star. Some say it was an important person. Some say it was a star. And according to the Man Domer, it says kochav. It says what? Arur Yoshveh, the ones who are sitting there. So it says the Shlach Kadosh Michlal sheyesh behem yishuv. There's a famous proof that they bring from the pasuk Oru meroz. From meroz is an example that the Navi that Dvorah Neviah was cursing out the planet Meroz, and it seems to be that there was inhabitants there. But then he ends off the following: in my opinion, there is life. Hen olamot, and they are worlds. And that's what Mashma says in the Tikunei HaZohar. ובפרק הבא, אכבדי אני במהות שבהם ובריות בו ייפקדו להזכירם אם הם מצלמים נקודתנו ואם לאו. And he says, just the question is, do they have the same type of human appearance as us or not? And then he goes on in Perek Dalet, and he says, in his opinion, only those who are in this world have bechira. Otherwise, the different inhabitants, not necessarily do they have the same level of humanity that we do. That's what he goes on. And he
pause it for a second.
Believe that it can't be that there's other beings in the world because we're the only Baal Bechira. It's not a contradiction. We are the only ones who have Baal Bechira. The other ones, it could be that they have life. They're not Baal Bechira. It's very interesting. This is the approach of the Shlach Kadosh. So basically, in Sefer Rabbi said that is shuv in other worlds.
Yeah, so the rabbi said something very important. He said that beings from other planets don't have bechira. Bechira means free will. So the rabbi is saying, according to this opinion that he's quoting, there could be other beings on other planets, but these beings are not beings who necessarily have free will, at least not in the way that human beings do. What do you think of that, Claire?
So they're like, they sound like angels or jinn for Muslims.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They don't have free will.
Angels. Right, they don't have free will. And they're not necessarily, they might not necessarily be made in the image of Hashem, B'Tselem Elokim, in Hashem's image.
You have something called golem? Is it?
Yeah, a golem is an animated, it's an animated, like they take like clay and they make it into like a person or something. There have been rabbis in history who were able to make golems.
Oh, it's sort of like a magic trick or something.
No, it's not magic. It's just like they use spiritual technology to miraculously make a golem.
Mm-hmm.
Jews aren't allowed to do magic.
But that sounded like magic, what you just said.
It sounded like magic was actually miracles through the forces of holiness.
All right. Okay. Shall we continue?
Yes, please. Thank you.
In his opinion, nevertheless, they are not called Bali Bechira. This leaves us, he quotes us a Tikunei HaZohar. I don't know where the Tikunei HaZohar he was quoting, but there is a Tikunei HaZohar that talks about something very similar, which is the concept of Sheva Aratzot, which I'm going to discuss today also. It's written in 4 places in the Zohar HaKadosh that discusses these different beings beings that there could be. But interestingly, from the Zohar Kadosh, it's mashma that these beings are not necessarily from the Kochavim, from the stars and the different planets. Rather, they are from the earth itself. And here we're going to start with the Zohar in Parashat Vayikra. The Zohar discusses how, has seven. It has seven skies, just like there are 7 seas and 7 rivers and 7 days and 7 weeks and 7 years, which is the Shemitah, 7 times the years, which is Yovel, and 7,000 years, which is 6,000 a year. He gets up to 7. So you also have 7 skies. And he explains the Zohar, and each one of them has its Kochavim and Mazalot, and it's likened to onion that has different layers to it. And continues the Zohar Kadosh. And every single one of the skies has pachad from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, has pachad from Hashem. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is on top. Now here we are going to enter the topic of the Sheva Aratzot, which the Ramak, Rav Moshe Cordovero, was the chief Mekubal in the city of Tzfat when the Arizal came to Tzfat. He was known as the great Mekubal before the Arizal became known. And when the Talmidim of Rav Moshe Cordovero asked him, who's going to take over when you're Niftar in Tzfat? So Rav Moshe Cordovero said, by my Levaya, whoever sees a pillar of smoke and fire coming out of my Aron, by the Levaya, you'll know that he's the one who is continuing my legacy. So by the Levaya, like the Arizal was, hey, what's going on with this pillar of smoke? Nobody else. So everybody knew that it was the Arizal who was the Mamshich. So and they're buried next to each other in the city of Tzfat. They're buried next to each other in the city of Tzfat. So Rav Moshe Cordovero in the Sefer Pardes, Sharvav, Peragimel, he discusses this concept of Sheva Aratzot, because originally in the Zohar Kadosh, there was different opinions where these 7 lands are. Kigavnada, just like there are seven skies. Kigavnada, just like there are 7 skies, there's also Sheva Aratzot Latata. There are 7 different lands. You're going to see amazing things in the Zohar Kadosh. You're going to fall off your chair. It says, Bar de ilan ilain ve ilin tatain. But the difference is that there are some on the top, some on the bottom. And what it means is that on all the surface of the earth, you have some that are higher up, which is Eretz Yisrael, which is the highest of all lands, and Yerushalayim is the highest of all cities, says the Zohar Kadosh. But said Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, "V'chavarna yadviv droma chamu besifra kadmai." But my friends that were sitting in the Darom, that means in the south, the friends of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there was 10 friends. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Yesa, Rav Yossi. There's 10 friends. There's that rode in that used to sit in the Idra. I think we spoke about it once. They spoke that they sat in half circle in the Idra, and they would learn Torah. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says our friends hold, and they saw in the Sifrei HaKadmonim, in the earlier books, and in the Sefer of Adam Arishon, in the book of Adam Arishon, the halchi mechalik kol inun aratzot. The aratzot are not on the same surface. Rather, this is how they are. Kula mishtakchi letata. All of these Sheva aratzot are under the earth. And the more you go under, the more these aratzot are. Just like there are skies above, there are lands below the earth. And there's Gan Eden and the Gehenna. And there are names to all these Sheva aratzot. Zohar explains it in Sefer Bereshit, Daf Lamed Tet Amud Bet, that it's called, that there's Sheva aratzot tachat ilan inun medure ara. Eretz Adama, Gay, Nishiyat, Sia, Arka, and Tevel. Remember the name Arka. There's an airline Arkia. There's not that. There's Arka. We're going to see soon. So there are 7 names to this to these aratzot. And says the Zohar Kadosh, are you listening? Ve'id benayu briin mishunin, elin me'elin kegavna de le'ela. And there are different creations, briot mishunot. Some of them, minayun treyanpim, some of them have 2 heads. Umenayun arba, some of them have 4 heads. Umenayun bechat, some of them have 1. Ve'chezu de elon lav ke'elon. And the way they look is not the same as the others. Continues the Zohar, who made these creations? If you're going to tell me it's Adam Arishon who created them, did Adam Arishon have so many wives that he created all these people? Rather, Adam Arishon is in this world, it's called Tevel, right? It's written in Mishlei. And therefore, begin and all of them below are not from Adam Arishon. So who are they from? So says the Zohar Kadosh, very interesting. With the help of the sky above, and with Mikitura de Aron, with the steam from the land below, all types of levushim minim klipin. Some of them have clothing, some of them have, I don't know, clothing means covering, some of them have klipot. And they are like little slugs and maggots that are found in the world. And some of them are red, some of them are black, some of them are white, some of them have all types of colors. And they live around not more than 10 years. That's what the Zohar Kadosh says. Now these are Briot Mishunot. Now there's another Zohar in Parashat Vayetze that I'll read out to you that has a little bit of a story that's going to shed insight on these beings. We're going to see in a moment. It says like this. No, I'm explaining what these creations that live in these Sheva Aratzot are. I'm saying like this. Rav Chia and Rav Yossi were once going on the derech. So Rav Yossi told Rav Chia, every time we speak about Torah, Hashem makes us miracles that we get to our place faster or whatever else, or he protects us from danger. Now that it's a far out land, let's speak divrei Torah, so we'll be able to be protected. This is in the Zohar Vayetzed of Kuf Nun Zayin. So they started speaking divrei Torah. I'm skipping, and the Zohar continues. It says like this: While they were walking, they heard one voice that came from Shamayim that says, "Tuf sira dikatnun, akiman beurcha, satula ela lo tachnun bekusra dikitr diletata." He says that there was a voice that started telling them where to go. So Rav Yossi says, "You see, I told you so." Hashem said, "We speak and learning. Hashem will protect us." So they got to a place in between two rocks. They went into like a canyon in between two rocks. Amru, since Hashem wanted us over here, let's discuss Torah, and obviously Hashem will make a miracle for us. So they sat in between a crack of the rocks. Saliklun chad barnash. Some person came out of the rock, and he says like this, and tavahu, and they were like shocked. Amru Rav Yossi, man ad, who are you? He thought it's probably a demon or something. My friend told me his grandmother used to tell him in Morocco that they sometimes knew not to go out in the street on certain nights because they knew the demons were getting married that night and it was their wedding and you don't want to intervene. Yeah, no, in LA you don't see so many. I mean, you do see people that look like demons, but I'm saying you don't see really demons. And he says, Amar le vitaman id b'nei nasha. So the person told him, Amar me anshe Arka ana. I'm from Arka. You remember Arka? It's written in the Zohar that that's one of the 7 lands. Amar le vitaman id b'nei nasha. Rav Yossi said there are really people there. Amar le in. What do those people do? V'zarim v'chadzdin. All day they plant and they reap. U'minayin v'chizu achra mishinu minai. And they're different. They look different from me. In other words, based on what he's saying, that some of them have 2 heads. And I came over here to see what's going on in your land, because that way I can know how many more lands there are. So unbelievable. Yeah, so he was able to speak. He was able to communicate with them. That you see from here. Amrulei Eretz. So they said there's Eretz and there's Tevel, and this is called Eretz Achaim. And then that's what he explained to him. And while they were speaking to him, and then he continues and he says like this. And there's bread that comes out over here, and in all the other lands, bread doesn't come out. There's other stuff that come out, but not bread. Bread is chokhmah, right? They went back into their cave. So obviously Hashem wanted us to know about the city of Arka, about this place of Arka, and that these being comes from over here. So Rav and Rav Yossi met these aliens. The Gemara continues. Not demons. He thought they were demons. They were not demons. They're from the city. They told him they're from the city of Arka. So they fooled him, you're saying? So far, I'm defining aliens as those who are coming from Sheva Aratzot, or according to the Shlach Kadosh, those that could come from different planets. That the Zohar, I haven't found anywhere in sources before the Shlach Kadosh that talks about. Okay, now we continue like this. I have no idea about flying saucers. I have no idea. I'm not commenting on it. Well, we said that there were, Rabbis say that there were light. Right, so there's definitely light. Now let's continue. Going back to the Zohar in Parashat Vayikra. Yeah. Now the Zohar continues, and he says like this. In the books of Rav Hamnuna Saba explains a little bit more, and it doesn't seem like they're going in the opinion of Shimon Bar Yochai. Shimon Bar Yochai says that the Shiva Ratzot is Lamata, and he said it's on the same surface. Now here you're going to hear something amazing, not really our subject. You're going to hear something unbelievable. The Zohar Kadosh, which was written 2,000 years ago, says that the world is agula kekadur. I'm reading it out to you. It's round like a ball. Everybody thought that the world was flat. Zohar Kadosh tells you it was agula vekadur. There are people on top of the kadur, and there are people on the bottom. And you knew about gravity a long time ago. And people look different. In other words, the Chinese look different than the Africans, that look different than the Asians, that look different than the Americans, that look different from all over. Yeah. Based on the air of different places, it makes people look different. The Zohar says. And there is a place in the earth. Listen to this. That when it's dark now, it's light somewhere else. And when it's light somewhere else, it's dark now. And there is a place that's always day. And you only have night at a very small time. I don't think Reb Shimon Bar Yochai went on those Pesach cruises that go to the Netherlands or wherever else, to Norway or wherever else, Greenland, wherever it's day all day. But he means everything's written in the Torah 2,000 years ago. Zohar Kadosh is written. Unbelievable. So the Zohar continues and says like this. Now we're going back to these Briot Mishonot that they praise Hashem. Now there was somebody who was skeptical. Rav Nehorai Saba was skeptical of what Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was saying. Shiva Ratzot and there are Briot. How do you know that? He was once traveling and on a boat, and there was a big storm, and his boat sunk. And he sunk inside one of the pathways under the sea that is well known. And he ended up on one of these Shiva Aratzot. Now listen to this. He saw all types of little people there. And they were all praying. And he didn't know what they were saying. Interesting. So they were praying. Before they were praying, didn't know what they were saying, their language. Yeah. So a miracle happened, and he got out. And listen to this. He did the shuv the rest of his life. Who was Rabbi Nehorai Saba? Ramak says originally he thought it's Rabbi Meir, because in the end of Gemara Kedushin says that Rabbi Nehorai is Rabbi Meir Balanes. But then he says he thinks he lived before a little bit Rabbi Meir, and he thinks it's another Rabbi Nehorai Saba. Either way, he says the following. Yadin Setimin, he says Zakan Inun Sadikaya. Fortunate are those tzaddikim who learn Torah and know the secrets that are only revealed to Hashem. Oi, to those who argue on their words. And from that day on, every time that he would come to the Bet Midrash and the Chachamim said Divrei Torah, he would cry. And they would say, "Why are you crying?" And he says, "Beginda avarna al mehemnuta de mili de rabbanan," because I didn't believe the Chachamim. Because the Chachamim said something, I thought it was crazy, and I didn't believe them, and I had to experience it myself. And not to doubt the Chachamim. How much Emunat Chachamim can we get from the Zohar? And we're not alone when we hear this. We say, how could it be Sheva Ratzot? Because in the Zohar Kadosh himself, Rav Nehorai Saba didn't believe it until it happened to him. So according to the Zohar Kadosh, these biriot come from their own place, and it says, I didn't read this part, but it says that they all look up towards Adam Arishon, kind of as their master, and we look up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I guess Adam Arishon is like the Rabbi, how they look at stepping stone to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Interestingly, though, in the Tikkunei HaZohar, Tikkunei HaZohar is in Tikkun Samech Daled, Tzadi Aleph. It's written over there that from Adam Arishon, these creations came from the Sheva Aratzot. It's different than what's written in the Zohar and the Parashat Vayikra. That's Mashma Mefurish. Actually, it's Mefurish that it's not Adam. It's not from. They're not from Adam Arishon. Over here it says, when Adam Arishon came out of the Galut, Tachazi Sheva Aratzot Inun, and it mentions them: Eretz Adama, Arka Gei, Neshia Tzia Tevel, ve'Adam Chav beBatsheva. Adam sinned with Batsheva. With Batsheva is the Shekhinah. And Kadnachit Taman, he went under the Sheva Aratzot. So it's written that Adam Arishon traveled there. Have Avid Uvdin. In other words, he planted different trees and plants. Vitoldin, and he had children over there from the different seed that was wasted, and that's where these different biriot come from. So and in these different places, there are different plants. Some of them don't have plants. Some of them have biriot with 2 heads. Some of them had 3 to 7 heads. Some places have sun and the moon, and some don't have any light at all, and it's all dark. So and over there, all of these, they're Pogem, Batsheva. You can have people who are there. Sounds like they could come to Sheva Medure Gehinom, Sheva Mina Iniyot. So from this Zohar, it seems to be that Adam Arishon created all of these different beings. But either way, however you want to slice it, the Zohar HaKadosh in 4 different places discusses this phenomena called the Sheva Aratzot. And in the Sheva Aratzot, there are biriot, bishunot, that look different. And they speak a certain language. They were able even to communicate with us, like we see from the Zohar from Arka, that person from Arka. We call him a person, however you want to call it, and they are around, and they could make their appearance in this world. So that's what comes up from the Zohar Kadosh. And the Shla Kadosh writes, came much later. Shla Kadosh writes, he thinks, and he's not saying this Miruach Kochor, I don't know, maybe he is in Miruach Kochor, but he is saying that he thinks that there is beings on other planets, just they're not Bali Bechira, which it sounds pretty similar to the Zohar, that these beings also are not on the same level as we are. We are on the highest level. So that's what we could deduce from over here, that there are beings not on the same level than us, they live on the bottom of the earth. On the top of the earth could be, according to the Shla HaKadosh, and there's also demons, so maybe people cited demons and they thought I've never Baruch Hashem seen a demon, so I can't tell you how they look. But but they definitely, I know one place they talk about that they could be called or whatever else. But I'm gonna take that back, strike that. They discuss there's demons are discussed in different places. So we have different options where we could have different aliens. I keep away from the word UFO because that's flying stuff, and I don't have any knowledge about what we read. We don't have any knowledge about that. So that's the wrap, folks, for that. Chazaku Baruch.
Okay. Claire, any closing thoughts? I don't know if I think the audience was kind of bored, but I personally thought it was very interesting. That, by the way, is Rabbi Mordechai Lebhar, who is a Sephardic rabbi who lives in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, that was on it. He has a YouTube channel, but his YouTube channel is really intended for a Jewish audience.
Yes, with all the Hebrew.
Sorry about that.
So would you like to sum up what you thought he said?
So pretty much there's different approaches in Judaism as to whether there are extraterrestrial beings. There could be even according to the opinion that there are in fact aliens, beings on other planets. They are not on the same level as human beings in that they are not beings who have free will, and thus making human beings the Hashem's favorite creation, the highest creation, the planet Earth, Hashem's favorite planet, etc.
Oh, I see. So we have we still have favorite status.
Yeah, we're like
He's
our
not saying
planet
there's somebody
is
that
like
I like more.
if it were the case that there are aliens on other planets and sentient life on other planets, human life and our planet is still the center of Hashem's vision, the center of the universe.
And he says this because, I mean, what are the arguments he relies on?
There's just sources in the Zohar and the Kabbalistic writings indicating that there are either extraterrestrials or extra dimensional beings.
Okay. So, I mean, you also know that Muslims call Allah the Lord of the world. So I suppose the implication is that there could be extraterrestrial, beings, in other worlds, because of just the way Allah is called.
It could be meaning this world and the world to come, the world of the afterlife.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It could be one interpretation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Well,
does this thought make you happy? That
I don't care what the Quran says. To be, with all due respect.
No, I mean, it's agreeing with what you were saying, right?
I don't care if it doesn't make a difference to me if the Quran agrees with me or not. It doesn't.
I know, but the idea, do you like the idea of
Do I like the idea of extraterrestrials because I watched Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z is very like pagan, like Eastern pagan, but I would like the idea that there could be beings in the universe who are like the characters in Dragon Ball Z.
Is it a cartoon show?
Yes. You don't know about Dragon Ball Z?
No. Maybe we can watch that. That might be more fun.
No, that's okay.
Now you're making me want to watch it. So
you could go. I don't know what streaming services are available in your country, but I don't know if you could. There's a streaming service called Crunchyroll. You can get a subscription for Crunchyroll for like $10 a month, or in America at least.
I'm not paying for that. I just want to know what this Dragon Ball Z
it's a cartoon with people like fly around and they punch each other. It's just action and it's just beautiful. It was before your time. No, it's after. It was after your time.
So it's a Japanese thing, yes?
Yeah, it's a Japanese cartoon. I forgot to mention.
It's only 2 minutes, so I kind of want to watch it.
There's Dragon Ball. There's a Dragon Ball Z wiki. You can go do your research there.
Oh, it'll tell us about the characters and stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
and like the background. It's very interesting.
Uh-huh.
To me, at least.
Yes. Okay, it's only 2 minutes, so maybe people will be patient with us.
These white saints appear as conquerors of countless planets. You lose! I'm angry. By my hatred, the Super Saiyan within me erupted to life! Let's see if you can keep up. Let me show you. I dare you. If that's what you want. Let me stay on. I'm quite eager to see how you've been trained in the act. This is what I call Super Saiyan 3. You had better be ready to kill me. For you to go this way, you must have wanted to settle the score real badly, huh, Vegeta? I will defeat you this day! So this is Super Saiyan God's power! I'm tired. Too bad!
Okay, so basically,
yeah, that's from a new game that's coming out. I know it's very artistic.
No, but actually, I was talking about Lord of the Rings to Ron earlier, and it made me think of that. It's like, yeah, there's fighting and then running away and then another adventure and more special effects, and it just went on and on. That's my memory of Lord of the Rings. Did you watch any of that?
The movie, yeah, I saw the movies a long time ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I guess.
did you get into it? Was it
I
one of
didn't.
your?
It was okay. That was a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm. So did you do you have a favorite childhood movie about aliens
About aliens?
or whatever?
I like the
E.T.?
Alien movie. Alien movie, the one where they were in the spaceship.
Oh, the horror one with
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Sigourney Weaver. Yes, I like that.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, E.T. What did you think of that?
I never really watched. I saw like glimpses of that movie.
Okay.
I don't like Steven Spielberg.
You don't? Why not?
Because he's like one of these. He's like Illuminati.
How do you know he's Illuminati?
Yeah. All the Hollywood directors are part of the Illuminati.
And what do Illuminatis do?
They like.
You've gone quiet. Okay, I guess the stream is over. We've got 3 people now, but he's come back.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Hold on, there's someone in my background. I can't.
So who's it? What's happening? Okay, obviously something's going on, and we're going to be waiting for Judas to deal with his visitor to his room, or I don't know. Will he come back and talk to us? Judas?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I can't get too explicit, but yeah, they do evil stuff.
okay. Have you finished then? Would you?
That's
I
all
see
the
you have
content
a
we have
visitor.
today. We have a good 30. We're under an hour. That's good. I hope
Yeah.
it wasn't too boring. Claire, can you please share this on the Cube?
I will.
And can you,
I'll do that.
can you forward to Stephen J. James? Maybe he'll like it, and I'll become an internet celebrity like I always wanted.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay,
Thank you,
peace, y'all. Shavua Tov to all my fellow Hebrews.
Okay.
Good week.
Bye, Judas.